In this modern age of constant stimulation, where the cacophony of life seems to drown out our inner voice, we often forget the immense power that lies in silence. We have been conditioned to believe that action, noise, and constant movement are the keys to success and fulfillment. But I say to you, my beloved audience, that true power, true creation begins in the silence of your own being. Let us start by understanding what we mean by silence. I am not merely speaking of the absence of external noise, though that too has its place. The silence I speak of is a state of inner stillness, a quieting of the mind's incessant chatter, a cessation of the endless stream of thoughts that often cloud our consciousness and obscure our connection to the divine within us. This silence is not empty. It is full of infinite potential. It is the canvas upon which all of creation is painted. It is the womb of possibility from which all things are born. When you learn to access this silence, to dwell within it, you tap into the very source of all that is, was, and ever will be. Now you might be wondering, but Neville, how can silence be powerful? Surely we must take action to achieve our goals and manifest our desires. To this, I say, look closer at the nature of creation itself. Does a seed struggle to become a tree? Does it strain and strive? No, it simply is, and in its being, it naturally grows into what it is meant to be. This is the essence of letting everything come to you naturally. It is not about passivity or inaction. It is about aligning yourself with the natural flow of creation, about becoming one with the silence from which all things emerge. When you do this, you will find that what you desire comes to you effortlessly, as naturally as a flower turns towards the sun. Consider for a moment the last time you tried to force something to happen in your life. Perhaps it was a relationship, a job opportunity, or a personal goal. Did your striving and struggling bring you closer to your desire? Or did it push it further away? In contrast, think of a time when something wonderful came into your life unexpectedly, effortlessly. It likely happened when you were in a state of acceptance, of inner peace. In other words, when you were in touch with the power of silence. This power of silence is not something external to you. It is not a force you need to acquire or develop. It is your very nature, your true essence. When you strip away all the layers of conditioning, all the beliefs and assumptions about who you are and what you're capable of, what remains is this silent, pure awareness, the I am that is the core of your being. In this silence, you will find that you are not separate from your desires. You are not reaching for something outside of yourself. You are the very thing you seek. This realization is the key to letting everything come to you naturally. For when you know that you are one with your desire, that it is already yours in the realm of infinite possibilities, you no longer need to strive or struggle. You can rest in the certainty that what is yours must inevitably come to you. But how, you may ask, do we access this silence in a world that seems designed to keep us distracted and disconnected from our true selves? The answer lies in the practice of stillness. This is not merely about sitting quietly, though that can be a helpful starting point. True stillness is a state of being, a way of moving through the world while remaining centered in the silence of your core. Begin by setting aside time each day for quiet contemplation. This is not meditation in the traditional sense, where you attempt to empty your mind of alls. Instead, it is a gentle turning inward, a shifting of your attention from the external world to the vast, silent space within you. As you do this, you may notice thoughts arising. Do not fight them or try to push them away. Simply observe them, like clouds passing across the sky of your consciousness. As you practice this stillness, you will begin to notice a shift in your perception. The constant mental chatter that once filled your mind will gradually subside, revealing the silence that has always been there, underlying all your thoughts and experiences. This silence is not empty or void. It is alive, vibrant, full of potential. In this silence, you will find that your desires take on a new quality. They no longer feel like something you lack, something you need to acquire or achieve. Instead, they become a natural expression of who you are. You begin to feel the reality of your desires, not as future possibilities, but as present facts. This is the state from which true creation occurs. When you dwell in this silence, letting go of all striving and allowing everything to come to you naturally, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. You become a conduit through which your desires can flow into manifestation effortlessly. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, surely can't just sit in silence and expect things to happen. Don't we need to take action in the world? To this I say, of course, action has its place. But the action that springs from silence is of a different quality than action born of anxiety or lack. When you act from a place of inner silence, your actions are inspired. They flow naturally, effortlessly, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly what needs to be done. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying the right words, taking the right steps. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning yourself with the creative flow of the universe through the power of silence. Consider the great artists, inventors, and visionaries throughout history. Their greatest insights and creations often came not through hard work and struggle, but in moments of silence and stillness. Einstein spoke of his theory of relativity coming to him and to him. Mozart described his compositions as arriving fully formed in his mind. These are examples of the power of silence at work, allowing everything to come naturally. But let us delve deeper into this concept of letting everything come to you naturally. This is not about passivity or resignation. It is about cultivating a state of active receptivity. In the silence of your being, you become like a tuning fork, resonating with the frequency of your desires. As you maintain this resonance, you naturally attract experiences, opportunities, and circumstances that are in harmony with your desire. This process is as natural and effortless as a flower turning towards the sun. The flower doesn't strain or struggle. It simply responds to the light. In the same way, when you dwell in the silence of your true self, you naturally orient yourself towards the fulfillment of your desires. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what about the challenges and obstacles we face in life? How can we overcome these through silence? My dear friends, what you perceive as obstacles are manifestations of your own doubts and fears. When you enter into the silence of your being, these perceived obstacles begin to dissolve. In the silence, you connect with your true nature as a limitless divine being. From this perspective, challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth and expansion. When you face life's challenges from this place of inner silence, you respond with wisdom and grace rather than reacting from fear or anxiety. Let me share with you a powerful practice to help you cultivate this state of silence and allow everything to come to you naturally. I call it the I Am meditation. Find a quiet place where it won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath, allowing your body to relax. Now turn your attention inward and simply observe the phrase of I Am in your mind. Don't try to add anything to it. Just be with the pure awareness of I Am. As thoughts arise, gently return your focus to I Am. As you do this, you may begin to sense a vast silence underlying the I Am. This silence is your true nature. Rest in it, be it. As you practice this meditation regularly, you'll find that this sense of silent, pure awareness begins to permeate your daily life. You'll notice a new ease and flow in your experiences. Things that once seemed difficult or impossible will start to resolve themselves naturally. This is the power of silence at work in your life. Let us address a common misconception about this approach to life. Some may think that letting everything come naturally means abandoning all goals and aspirations. Nothing could be further from the truth. The power of silence does not negate desire. It purifies and elevates it. In the silence of your being, your desires are no longer born of lack or fear. They become pure expressions of your divine nature, aligned with the highest good for all. When you allow these purified desires to manifest naturally, you contribute to the harmony in the entire universe. Consider the way a mighty oak tree grows. It doesn't force its way up from the ground. It doesn't strain to produce leaves or branches. It simply expresses its nature, responding to the sun, the rain, the seasons. Yet in doing so, it provides shelter for countless creatures, enriches the soil, produces oxygen, and adds beauty to the world. In the same way, when you allow your desires to manifest naturally from the silence of your being, you become a force for good in the world. Your success, your joy, your fulfillment ripples out, touching and uplifting all those around you. But what about the times when things don't seem to be going our way? When despite our best efforts to remain in silence, the world seems chaotic and our desires feel far from manifestation. This, my dear friends, is when the power of silence is most crucial. In these moments of apparent discord, the temptation is to react, to try to force things back into alignment through sheer will. But I say to you, this is the time to go deeper into the silence. For it is in the depths of silence that you will find the truth that transcends all appearances. In silence, you reconnect with the unchanging reality of your being. You remember that you are not your circumstances, not your emotions, not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which all these things arise and pass away. From this perspective, you can observe the chaos without being swept away by it. As you maintain this silent awareness, you may find that what seemed like obstacles, setbacks, were actually necessary steps in the unfolding of your desire. The silence gives you the wisdom to see the bigger picture, to trust in the perfect timing of the universe. Let me share with you a powerful technique to maintain this silent awareness, even in the midst of life's challenges. I call it the observer practice. Throughout your day, no matter what you're doing, cultivate the habit of observing your thoughts, emotions, and reactions as if you were watching a movie. Don't judge or try to change what you observe. Simply watch with detached interest. As you do this, you'll begin to notice a subtle shift. You'll start to identify less with the content of your experience and more with the silent awareness that observes it all. This practice allows you to maintain your connection to the power of silence, even as you go about your daily activities. It creates a space between stimulus and response, giving you the freedom to choose your reactions rather than being controlled by habitual patterns. Now, let us explore how this power of silence relates to your interactions with others. In our relationships, we often feel compelled to fill every moment with words, to constantly express our thoughts and opinions. But true connection, true understanding often happens in the spaces between words. When you learn to be comfortable with silence in your relationships, you open up a new level of communication. You become more attuned to the unspoken, more sensitive to the subtle energies that flow between people. This silent attunement allows for deeper understanding and more harmonious interactions. Moreover, when you are grounded in your own inner silence, you become a calming presence for others. Without saying a word, you can help others connect with their own inner peace. This is how you become a transformative force in the world through preaching or persuading, but simply by being a living embodiment of the power of silence. As we delve deeper into this topic, let us consider how the power of silence relates to the creative process. Whether you are an artist, a business person, or simply someone looking to bring more creativity into your life, silence is your greatest ally. In the silence, you tap into the infinite wellspring of creativity that lies within you. Ideas and inspirations arise naturally and unforced. Solutions to problems present themselves effortlessly. The silence clears away the mental clutter that often blocks our creative flow, allowing fresh, original thoughts to emerge. But this creative silence is not just about receiving ideas. It's also about allowing those ideas to gestate and mature. Just as a seed needs the darkness and quiet of the soil to grow, your ideas need time in the silence to develop fully. Resist the urge to immediately act on every idea that comes to you. Instead, hold it gently in the silence, allowing it to unfold naturally. This patience, this trust in the natural unfolding of your creative process is a powerful application of letting everything come to you naturally. It requires releasing the ego's need for immediate results and trusting in the wisdom of silence. Now, my dear friends, as we approach the conclusion of our exploration, I want to address a question that may be arising in your minds. How do I maintain this connection to silence in a world that seems to demand constant action and noise? The answer lies in understanding that silence is not something you do. It's something you are. It's your natural state, your true essence. The noise and busyness, that never truly touch this inner silence. It remains ever present, always available to you. The key is to regularly remind yourself of this truth. Throughout your day, take moments to pause and reconnect with the silence within you. It might be as simple as taking a deep breath and feeling the space between your thoughts, or it could be a longer period of quiet contemplation. As you make this a habit, you'll find that the silence begins to permeate all aspects of your life. It becomes the foundation from which you operate, the wellspring of your thoughts, words, and actions. You begin to move through the world with a sense of ease and grace, allowing everything to come to you naturally. Remember, this is not about escaping from the world or denying your experiences. It's about engaging with life from a place of deep inner stillness. From this place, you can fully participate in the dance of life while remaining rooted in the unchanging silence of your being. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a powerful visualization to help you integrate this understanding of the power of silence. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself as a vast, clear lake. The surface of the lake may have ripples caused by the wind of your thoughts and experiences, but beneath the surface, in the depths of the lake, there is perfect stillness. This still depth is your true nature. It remains undisturbed regardless of what happened on the surface. As you go about your day, remember this image. When life becomes turbulent, when your mind becomes noisy, recall the stillness at your core. Let it anchor you, guide you, remind you of your true nature. In conclusion, my beloved audience, remember that the power of silence is always within you. It is not something you need to acquire or achieve. It is your birthright, your true nature. As you learn to dwell in this silence, to let it infuse every aspect of your life, you will find that everything you desire comes to you naturally, effortlessly. You are not separate from your desires. You are not reaching for something outside of yourself. In the silence of your being, you are one with all that you seek. Trust in this truth. Rest in the silence. Allow life to unfold naturally, knowing that you are supported by the infinite wisdom and power of the universe. Go forth from here not as seekers, but as knowers. Know the power of silence that resides within you. Know that as you align with this silence, everything you desire must inevitably come to you. For you are not merely human beings subject to the whims of circumstance. You are divine beings, co-creators with the infinite power of the universe. Let the silence be your guide. Let it be the foundation of your thoughts, your words, your actions. As you do this, you will find that life becomes a joyous adventure, a natural unfolding of all that you are meant to be and experience. Thank you for your attention, my friends. May your journey into the power of silence be filled with wonder, joy, and the continual unfolding of your infinite potential. Remember, in the silence, all things are possible. Trust in the silence, and let everything come to you naturally.